In their quest to become makeup artists to the stars, 3 intrepid young women from the 4 corners of Bristol found themselves with the arduous task of showing the world the history of the skeletal face and neck as seen through the cinema. The list of bones is long, mainly 22 in the face and 7 in the neck, and every bone group has been represented by Hollywood in some sick and twisted way, starting with the cranium, made up of the frontal, parietal, occipital and temporal bones. This structure gives support and structure to the face as well as protecting the little grey cells. These bones are best accentuated in the classic film Elephant Man. Although our model spent a fair amount of time in the chair, I think hats off to the actor John Hurt, who spent 5 hours every morning in the makeup chair and then another 1.5 hours taking it off for 12 long weeks, including Saturdays and Sundays. Next, we have the eye socket. In this dark little crevice, there are 3 bones that stop your slippery little sucker of an eyeball from falling out of your head, and they are the ethmoid, sphenoid, and the lacrymal. There are countless films that have used the eye socket as a bottom-cringing example of excruciating ways to injure yourself, but we felt so sick from researching this that we thought we would go to another classic film, Phantom of the Opera, with Lon Chaney. By the way, did you know that Lon Chaney used fish hooks in his nostrils to give a more flared effect? Talking of nostrils, the next group of bones in this wonderful cinematic tour, we have the nasal vomer and inferior nasal concha, otherwise known as the turbinate. These provide support for the nasal cartilage and so creating the nostrils, the bones represented beautifully by our trusty friend Voldemort. However much he seems to be lacking somewhat in the nostril area. Now every woman would like good bone structure. People pay thousands to have cheekbones you could cut paper with. The more accentuated the zygomatic bone, the more looks of envy come flying your way as you strut your funky zygomatic stuff. These bones, as well as making you look fab, also support the orbital floor, and the best example of chiselled cheeks extraordinaire is of course Jim Carrey as the Mask. For every woman's cheekbone, there is a man out there who wouldn't mind Brad Pitt's jawline. Only mention that so we could have a picture of Brad in our film, however, can't find one. The maxilla, the bit above the lip, is technically 2 bones fused together and form internally the palate, roof of the mouth, support muscle and tissue for the top lip, and provide the mantle for the top teeth. The mandible, obviously the bit below the lip, is a floating and movable bone that holds your bottom set of teeth and structure for the bottom lip. Put this all together and you can talk to your heart's content. These bones have never been better represented than in the 1968 film of Planet of the Apes. Yep. Finally, the neck, otherwise known as the clavicle vertebrae. Throughout cinematic history, these hardy bunch of bones have been broken, garroted, strangled, kissed, stretched, aged, hung, and even had pen casings shoved through them to enable breathing. Please refer to the film Saw. Like a simple game of Jenga, these bones act as building blocks to support your enormously heavy cranium and also protect the spinal cord. Of course, where better to go see the 7 little vertebrae in forever rotating action than the uber classic film The Exorcist. Okay, you're evil. You're evil. Talk to the camera. You're in a foul mood. You just vomited all over your best top. That's what we need. That's what we need. Yeah, come on, baby.